free of charge to inmates that need them. And that's just a beautiful thing, Robin, that you've done that. So Robin, let me ask you something about the process. Take a person that's troubled and he's in a prison, and I want to point out that the prisons that you speak to aren't always the ones behind the walls. They could also be a prison that any one of us has. And in your book, I'm telling you, everybody, her book covers every aspect of forgiveness imaginable that I can think of. It talks about forgiving your own body for getting an illness, forgiving your body for being overweight, forgiving your body for being out of shape. In other words, it's a self-communication where you really get into yourself to understand who you are. But what I'm going to tell you is, Robin, you are in prisons and have mentored, counseled, worked with people that are lifetime sentences without parole and shown them that they are still a worthwhile human being. That is so incredible. Could you speak to that, please?
Well, I think everybody's a worthwhile human being. Part of the process is helping people to discover that within themselves, because if you don't think you're worthwhile, then you act in the world accordingly. So in a way, encouraging people to discover the part of themselves that is worthwhile and worth the effort to do the hard work of emotional healing is increasing public safety, really. I write in Houses of Healing, there's a chapter on self-forgiveness, and I open that chapter by saying the idea of a prisoner forgiving themselves is as unacceptable to many as the commission of the crime, because people would feel like, they shouldn't forgive themselves, but they don't realize that self-forgiveness takes time, takes courage, takes a depth of honest self-examination that not everyone is ready and willing to do. Because if people truly forgive themselves, it means that they have really acknowledged the truth of what they've done. They've taken responsibility for that in every way they can. They have apologized in whatever way is appropriate. Sometimes, of course, you can't. If you're in prison, it's not appropriate to reach out to the victim. Or you may have killed somebody, or there's always the victim's family, but it may not be appropriate to reach out to them. But in order to forgive yourself, part of that means that you dedicate yourself to aligning with that core that requires that you are doing work on a daily basis to help you to touch that part of you that really is fundamentally good and worthwhile and peaceful. So it's self-forgiveness, as I said, it's a lot of work. It's not just, and I say this in the book, it's a self-forgiveness and I just forgive myself because God forgives me, or I forgive myself it's because it's an easy way out. That's not self-forgiveness. That's rationalization and denial,
right.
and all of that. So it is a process. It is a process that requires courage, as I said, and a depth of honest self-examination that they have the guidance to do it if they're ready to do it, but some aren't. And, it just depends on where they are in their own process and how much courage
Robin,
they have to move forward.
Robin, we're running out of time, and there's so much more I want to talk to you about, but I would just like to thank you for being on the show today, and the outro is going to come on now. And is there anything you'd like to say just real quick to say goodbye to everybody today?
Well, thank you so much for inviting me on the show, and I'm delighted to have been here. And I would just say if people's interest is piqued by this, or they'd really like to look into forgiveness, you've been so kind and supportive in terms of referring to Forgiveness a Bold Choice for a Peaceful Heart, or Houses of Healing, which people can get through the Lionheart website. The other one they can easily get through Amazon, or a local bookstore that can order it for them. Then I would just say pursue it in those ways, or any other way that speaks to you.
Robin, you're a wonderful, beautiful person, and I appreciate you for being on the show today, and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Steve.
Thanks for listening to Right Thinking with Steve Copeland. I look forward to being with you again next week. And remember, don't quit, plan ahead, it will get better. God bless you and have a great week.